coming to you from Las Vegas. This is known as Warzone Live, Monday through Friday, now at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. Great to be with you. All kinds of things happening. Economic issues are my number one thing. Border issues are my number one thing. DEI issues are my number one thing. We had Don Trump Jr. yesterday, and we finish up with Laura Trump today. Laura, Wayne Allyn, how are you? We got a big guest and a great interview today with Dr. Oz with us right now.
Good to see you. I like your tie, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great to see you. Always great to have you on the show.
Wayne Allyn Root, happy to see you again on the cutting edge of things on your show, whether it's medical, political, you name it, you're on top of it. So just great to hear that. Great to hear that.
So wonderful to be with you again, Wayne. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be with you tonight.
It's great to see you, Wayne. How you been?
Anytime, Wayne. Great to see you.
Hey, Wayne. Great to see you, brother.
Hey, Wayne. Good to be with you.
Wayne, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Lots going on.
Doing great, Wayne. Glad to be here.
Well, thanks, Wayne. I don't see myself as a hero. I'm just trying to keep this community safe.
This is The War Zone, the official podcast of the Gateway Pundit. 2.5 million unique daily readers. Also on Rumble under Wayne Allyn Root, or Warzone. Then on weekends, we got our big show, America's Top 10 Countdown on Real America's Voice TV. While everybody else is giving opinions, I give solutions. And some of them Trump takes, some of them he doesn't. I wish he'd take all of them. This is the Mainstream media. No more mainstream media allowed in. Only Mainstream media, meaning raw truth and in-your-face mother trucker information. The Root's on fire. Welcome to my show, Warzone Live. Monday through Friday, official podcast of the Gateway Pundit. 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific.
Warning! The Root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star, direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root, let me get the screen off because it just blasted me in the face. I just did a speech today and I'm exhausted. Can't even believe how tired I am that I even made this show, but I'm here. I'm here because there's a lot to talk about. So first of all, the biggest story, of course, is the attempted terrorist attack. And of course, none of this is in order, so I have no idea where it is. But there was an attempted terrorist attack on Trump's UFC fight on the White House lawn, and it was evidently a bunch of young guys involved, I guess Antifa guys, and they were planning on massive drone attacks with weapons on the drones and attacking buildings and attacking people, and then when the people started to run, they'd have snipers ready to shoot the people who are running to cause maximum death. They were trying to get thousands of people killed at the Trump event and embarrass the United States of America and embarrass Trump. And it would have been a disaster. And thank God the FBI, under Kash Patel, figured it out and got it done. So thank you, Kash Patel, for once the FBI does something. Here it is. FBI disrupts alleged explosive drone plot targeting White House UFC event. Signal chats allegedly reveal 23 people discussing pre-operational activity. I can't wait to find out who these people are. It turns out, it appears that somebody's mother disrupted the whole thing. Someone's mother, a 19-year-old kid's mother, called in the FBI and said, I don't like what my son's doing. I don't like what he's buying, the weapons he's buying, something bad he's planning. Something's going on. And the FBI took it seriously, which never would have happened under Joe Biden. And they literally, investigated and went after the kid and broke up this massive terror plot. So kudos to the mother, and kudos to the FBI, and kudos to Kash Patel, and kudos for Trump for naming Kash Patel and cleaning out the old FBI that was so bad. So very scary stuff. Can you imagine thousands could have been killed at this event right on the White House lawn? What an embarrassment in front of the whole world. There's just always, it's important to note, there's always people looking to kill massive amounts of people at major sporting events and major political events. And boy, if you don't have good Secret Service and you don't have good FBI and good NSA and good CIA, you got nothing. You got nothing. We've had bad, all of them, for years and years now, because the only thing they were ever concerned with was stopping Trump and stopping Trump PTA moms and stopping, blue-haired old ladies saying prayers in front of abortion clinics, sticking them in jail for 10 years. Pretty scary stuff. Pretty scary stuff. I also want to mention 8 military heroes dead in a B-52 bomber crash at Edwards Air Force Base in California. We don't know the details of exactly what happened yet, but of course, prayers to all of them. Prayers for all 8 and their families. Can you imagine? I'm sure every one of them or most of them had kids, and your dad or your mom is dead now. Just shocking stuff. Pray they're in heaven. Pray their families survive this. Can you imagine people complain about the Iran war? I think we've had 13 dead in the Iran war and months of war. Now you have 8 in one single accident involving a plane. Has nothing to do with war, just taking off an airport in California. 8 military heroes dead instead of 13 in a war. It's that easy for 8 people to be killed. Quite amazing. All right, some other big news. Michigan spent billions on schools, and 3 out of 4 fourth graders can't read. Congratulations, Governor Whitmer. You wasted all the money again. I keep trying to tell all of you that no one is ever going to learn, no one's ever going to read, no one's ever going to do math. First of all, if the schools are filled with illegal aliens, you got no shot. The illegal aliens are going nowhere, and they're slowing down the classroom so that the American kids can't learn, and they're going nowhere. Second of all, liberals know nothing about discipline. Without discipline, school doesn't work. Without knowing that you're going to get kicked out and the rest of your life's going to be a nightmare and you're never going to make money. Without threatening people, there's no chance any kid ever learns, and nobody's willing to do that anymore. You know, the Catholic nuns had it right. You hit them on the wrist with a ruler and slap the F out of them. But nobody wants to do that in public school. And number 3, nothing is ever going to work as long as A, you have teachers unions, and B, you have the government involved in any way, shape, or form on the national level or federal level. We've got to eliminate the Department of Education and bring it back to the local level. But when you say that, you're ignoring the fact that the local level will work in Alabama. It'll work in Idaho. It'll work in Montana. It'll work in Texas. It'll work in Florida. But it won't work in blue states because it's going to be the same bureaucracy. It's going to be the same bureaucrats who love the teachers unions because they give them gigantic contributions, and it's the same teachers unions in charge who all they care about is the teachers' salaries, and the teachers shouldn't work too many hours. You know, I work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, 364 days a year. I take off Christmas. Once in a while, I take off for my birthday, too. But other than that, I work all year long, 16 hours a day. And teachers, they want weekends off. They want 3-day weekends. They want 4-day weekends. They want 2 weeks at a time. They want 4 months at a time over the summer. It's just the whole thing is a joke. They want 5,000 national holidays, more days are holidays than days are working. And so good luck to the teachers. That's some job you've got. Your job is off more than you're ever on. And yet you want more money and more money and more money, and the more money we throw at you, the more the results are failures. So I thought that was an important story. And then here's another one. LA hotels hit by the largest job losses in a decade as wage mandates caused dramatic losses, the data shows. And again, Wayne Root is right. Once again, the industry is shedding jobs at the highest rate since the COVID-19 pandemic. They're firing everyone at the LA hotels. And I predicted all of this right on the air. Petard's a witness. We both know somebody who used to work in one of those hotels. And I said exactly that on the air when it happened, when they passed a $30 minimum wage for hotels. I said, there goes the hotels. They're all going out of business. Nobody in the world can afford to pay everyone $30 an hour for an entire day's work. It's just impossible. It doesn't work, and the people think they're getting rich. You're not getting rich, you're losing your job. See, the choice isn't 30 or 25, it's 30 or 0. If they pay you 30, you lose your job and you get 0. Nobody can afford it. If you ask for a raise and they can't afford it, they fire you, you morons. We're just dealing with really, really ignorant people. Teachers don't work because of teachers' unions, and hotels don't work because government gets involved, bureaucrats get involved. They mandate salaries, and hotel unions demand too much. And pretty soon, everyone's going out of business and everyone's getting fired. Another big piece of news, Columbia University, my alma mater, is it alma mater or alma mater? I never know. It's like a potato or potato. I have no idea. Tomato or tomato. Is it alma mater or alma mater? I think it's alma mater. But my alma mater, Columbia, is the last Ivy to fold. They abandoned test-optional admissions policy. More than 3 years after adopting this test-optional admissions policy, Columbia University is reversing course and will once again require standardized test scores from prospective students beginning in fall 2027. First year and transfer applicants will have to submit either SAT or ACT scores to be considered for admission. So it turns out What a shocker! It turns out university officials said the decision follows a multi-year faculty review that found test scores, among other factors, were a useful indicator of potential student success. What a shocker. Can you believe it? Getting A's on tests actually means something, whether you should get into an Ivy League school or not. Oh my God. Can you imagine how far our country fell under Democrat liberal ideas? Oh my God. I'm sorry, folks, but I was a poor white kid, and I got into Columbia University 100% because of my grades, not because I was a poor white kid. And today, it's impossible for a white, straight boy to get into an Ivy League school. It is literally impossible. They don't want you. They want women. They want blacks. They want Latinos. They want minorities of all kinds. They want gays. They want transgenders. And they want foreign students. But the thing they don't have room for is a simple white middle-class boy who is straight. No one has room for them. They can't get into Ivy League schools anymore, even though they have top SAT scores. And you know what? Even though, let's admit it, white middle-class people ran America all these years, and it became the greatest country in world history. They didn't do too bad. But nobody wants them anymore. That's amazing. But maybe now the test scores are actually looked at. Maybe there's some chance for white middle-class boys again. Can you imagine for the little 3-year period where they didn't care about any scores, tests were optional, what kind of trash got into Columbia University? What kind of stupid trash? And in the end, it always comes back to haunt you, because I could just picture the people going, I got into an Ivy League school. My ticket is written. I'm set for life. And every company and every employer in the world is looking at this and going, anybody who got into Columbia during those 3 years, anyone who got into Harvard during those 3 years, anyone who got into Princeton, Yale, any of the Ivies, Penn, Dartmouth, if you got into a Duke, Stanford, you get into a top school during those several years where test scores were optional, you have to assume they're bloody morons who got in because of the color of their skin, and they have no brains and were never going to give you a job. So you're not getting a law firm job. You're not getting into law school. You're not getting into medical school. No one's going to let you operate on their brain. It's all over. You fooled yourselves. You never were candidates for Columbia or Harvard, but they made you a candidate because you're dumb, but you had the right skin color. And DEI fails once again. What a joke. This is a big news story. European Parliament approves trade deal with the United States after Trump threatens higher tariffs. So even with all the problems with the Supreme Court and lower court judges knocking tariffs out, the average person actually thought tariffs aren't in, but Trump says, screw you, tariffs are in. I'll hit you with even higher tariffs. Don't worry, we're going to win the court case. Ignore it. We're gonna literally hit you with such high tariffs you'll never sell anything to American consumers ever again. And China listens, and the EU listens, and the EU Parliament approves a trade deal with the U.S. So Trump threatened much higher tariffs on European goods if it wasn't passed by July 4th, and the European Parliament on Tuesday approved a major trade deal with the United States. The deal will eliminate tariffs on American industrial goods and lobster. Other goods, such as American agricultural products, will see reduced levies. Under the agreement, tariffs on many European goods will still have a 15% tariff or more. Isn't this good? How can anyone think that's bad? I have no idea why you think it's bad, but there was no point in thinking it's bad because it's good. It's good for the United States. Good stuff. Let's talk about Gavin Newsom. He says the DOJ probe is political, but let's take a closer look. Now, before I get to that, I saw an article about the probe, and I believe it said that the DOJ investigation against Gavin Newsom actually started under Joe Biden. So here's Newsom acting like it's political, and the whole thing is about his wife and her tax returns and what she was taking. Here it is, and it started under Joe Biden. Gavin Newsom and the DOJ probe opened under Joe Biden. He's touched an aggressive counteroffensive. Of course he has. First of all, what are you going to say? My wife's a thief? You know, she's a gorgeous blonde. I have sex with her 12 times a day. And you're about to send her to prison for 15 years. She'll never see my kids again, and I won't have sex with her anymore. And do you just say, I give up? No, you're going to come up with an argument. And what's the argument? Oh, my God, they're coming after me. It's a witch hunt. It's not right. It's political. And that's not what's happening. He calls it a politically motivated fishing expedition, but the probe opened under the Biden administration. So the Department of Justice, in a video posted to X and a former letter to the DOJ, Newsom demanded all internal communications since January 2025 that mentioned him or his wife. The Freedom of Information Act request targets top DOJ officials, including former Attorney General Pam Bondi and acting officials Emil Bove and Todd Blanche. Sets a July 6th deadline. He claims federal agents have been questioning family members, friends, and former employees, not because of crimes that identified, but because the Trump administration is trying to manufacture one. Isn't that interesting? That's what they did to Trump. Now you're mad when it's on the other foot. Very interesting. At the center of much speculation is California's longstanding practice of behested payments, which are donations that politicians solicit from private interests on behalf of nonprofit organizations. Behesting, Steve Hilton has called the mechanism literally corruption in plain sight and pledges to ban it. Now, that's great, Steve, but you're not going to get elected, so good luck to you. You know, people get mad when Wayne Root's negative, but I'm always right. Okay, I told you Spencer Pratt could never win for mayor of LA. Never. They were never going to let him win because they won't let anyone look under the hood because of the massive corruption. And I'm telling you, Steve Hilton has no chance to be elected governor of California for the exact same reason. Otherwise, Newsom and everyone else would go to prison for many, many years. So they're not going to elect Steve Hilton as the Republican governor of California. But I want him to be. I'm on his side. I wanted Spencer Pratt to win. At the center of much of the speculation, and Patar, where's the... Yes. At the center of much of the speculation is California's longstanding practice of behested payments. Reporting has established Newsom directed more than $4.4 million in behested payments to the California Partners Project, a nonprofit founded by his wife that focuses on gender equity. Siebel Newsom takes no salary, but donations have been described as essential to keep operations running. The group has collaborated with Siebel Newsom's other nonprofit, the Representation Project, which pays her $150,000 a year, and works with her other private sector film production company. See, I get it. It's like when people, when drug dealers, you go, where did that $18 million go? It went into a LLC. Where did that go? Well, that sent the money to another LLC, and that sent it to another LLC, and that sent it to an offshore LLC, and that sent it to one in Belize, and that sent it to one in Caymans. And pretty soon you can't keep up with the web of deceit and lies. Okay, hold on a second. No, don't rush me off the air. I'm in the middle of something here. So it's the same theory. She doesn't take a salary from the nonprofit, but the nonprofit gives the money to her other company where she takes a salary, and to her other company where she takes a salary, and I'm sure to the other and the other and the other where she takes a salary. When you add it up, it's probably 150 and 150 and 150 and 150, and pretty soon she's taking $600,000 or $1 million a year. Okay, and she's stealing the money, but she's not doing it overtly. Okay, it's salary from a company that was funded by the nonprofit, which was funded by the 501c3, which is funded by something else. Get it? It's structured like drug dealers. So of course it's raising questions about everything. Where's the $4.4 million? How did Newsom send $4.4 million to his wife, to the California Partners Project? What was that, government money? Was that your taxpayer money? Unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. All right, let me mention my book, How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great. 100 blank pages. It's a gag gift. It's a great gift for any conservative in your life, or if you want a liberal's head to explode, great gift. Look at the front. Warning, do not show this book to Democrats. Their heads will explode. This is the greatest gag gift ever for conservatives, Republicans, and MAGA. Patriots, 100 blank pages describing everything illegal immigrants have done to make America great. It's by Wayne Allyn Root. You can find it at Amazon. Just look up Wayne Allyn Root. It's the first book that pops up. Wayne Allyn Root at Amazon. It is inexpensive. It is a great gift to give out for birthdays or holidays or Christmas coming up or anything in the world that makes you want to give a gift to a friend. It's very inexpensive and very funny. Let me mention the sponsor, and then we're out of segment number one, Energized Health. They are the sponsor of the show. They've been the sponsor of everything I do for the last 6 years. TV, radio, local radio, podcast. Everything I do is sponsored by Energized Health. There's a picture of me 15 years ago. And here's a picture of me in the gym now at the age of 65. That was me 50 Now I'm going to be 65 in 1 month. Actually, I just got my Medicare card in the mail today. So congratulations, Wayne, you're on Medicare. So that's me in the gym, Mr. Medicare right there. Not bad. The new Jack LaLanne, Wayne Root. Very, very thin and strong and muscular. More so at the age of 65 than the age of 50. It's because of Energize Health. They changed my life. They extended my career. Got 4 TV shows past the age of 61. One of them now at the age of just about 65. Energize Health can do the same thing for you, and it works with the GLPs. If you're on any of the GLPs like Ozempic or Mounjaro, they all have horrific side effects. Some are mild, some of them horrific. And this helps you. It's synergistic, and it helps you to minimize those side effects or eliminate them totally. It's fat loss the healthy way, not weight loss. Right now, Energize Health offering my fans 40% off. Get your 40% off. Just go to energizehealth.com. Type in WAR or say WAR when you make an appointment and speak to them, and you get 40% off and start the same journey as me, energizehealth.com. I'm Wayne Allyn. This is Warzone Live, the official podcast of the Gateway Pundit. My website is rootforamerica.com, and my email is wayneroot@gmail.com. We'll see you in a sec. All right, Wayne Allyn with Dan Montano, the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine. I've been telling you about Zicha Genesis Medicine and its medicines to reverse type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and the number one cause of death in the world, small vessel heart disease. This form of heart disease is responsible for 1/3 of all the deaths in the world. So it could be 1/3 of all the people watching right now. Joining us now, the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine, Dan Montano. Dan, let's get an update on the success your medicine is having on these diseases. Let's start with type 2 diabetes. What's the latest?
Wayne, very simple. We've dosed about 50 people now in Las Vegas. 95% have reversed their diabetes within a few weeks. Only 2 have not made it so far, but they were so high it didn't count. It's coming along excellent. I think we'll end the study by the end of March, April, and be able to announce the outcome, which I think is going to show 95% success in reversing type 2 diabetes.
Wow. What's the update with Parkinson's disease?
We've now treated over 250 Parkinson's disease patients, including some very big names you'll be hearing about soon, I hope. And the recovery and the improvement is material. They're walking, they're talking, and they've almost got themselves back to normal.
All right, so we're going to have celebrity announcements. I love that. You're treating celebrities. What's new with your treatment of heart disease?
We are now starting to treat people in the Bahamas where we're cleared. In fact, we'll be attending the Caribbean Cardiovascular Conference in July. We expect 300 to 400 doctors to hear about what our medicine does, and hopefully they'll start referring patients to us to treat there. So everything is coming together. Those 3 items are working perfect.
There's an investment opportunity for my fans. What's the latest on that?
Well, right now, the medical research studies that we're doing, we return the investors 10 times on their money. And if they're not happy in 48 months, we'll buy them back at 2 times. But I think they'll probably have the 10 times by the time the 4 years is up, because we're just having a tremendous response on all 3 categories.
Well, the updates are exciting. They are spectacular. They are wonderful, and they are music to my ears. If you're interested in learning more about this investment opportunity, go to cure-war.com. They created that website just for me. Cure-war. Wouldn't it be great to make money and help cure disease? And if you or someone you love is suffering from type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, or heart disease, go to cure-war.com and register to be considered for their free medical research studies. Free. That's cure-war.com. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Wayne.
Hey, Wayne Allyn, America Speaks. You call in and we talk about it. Your opinions, your comments, your questions. How do you call in? 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668. The show airs at midnight, East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific, but we tape it at 6 p.m. East Coast time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So you call in at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I talk to you, and it airs that night at midnight. The phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. That number is 24/7. You can leave voicemails We play your voicemails on the air as well.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
Or you can email me, wayneroot@gmail.com. I'll read your email live on the air with your comments or questions. America Speaks. All right, wait, let me see if I can explain this single most complicated thing I've ever been involved in my life. Confusing, complicated, but yet you can call and speak to Wayne Root, okay? If you can just figure out what I'm saying, okay? Right now, you're either watching me live on my podcast or you're listening to my national radio show. And you say, why can't we have call-ins on the podcast? Why can't we have call-ins on the radio show? Well, now you kind of can. If you just take this phone number down, 800-347-ROOT, 800-347-ROOT. At 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, for 1 hour, I'm taking calls every day, every weekday during that hour at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock East Coast time. 1-800-347-ROOT. And that call is while I'm taping my national TV show, America Speaks. Then you can watch it at 12 midnight East Coast, 9 p.m. Pacific. You can watch yourself talking to Wayne or watch your voicemail and me responding to your voicemail, because you can leave a voicemail 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at that same number, 800-347-ROOT. So forget about everything else. Forget about what time you're watching the podcast. Forget about which time you're listening to this radio show. Forget about all that. The only thing that matters is at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, you can call Wayne Root and talk to me at 800-347-ROOT. We will pick up, we will talk right on the air on my national TV show and have fun. 800-347-ROOT at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, every weekday. That's the story, okay? Hopefully you understand that. I kept it as simple as I can. Nikki Ballou is my guest. I'll be with him in just a second. No, I'll mention this at the end of the comment, at the end of the segment. Let me get right to Nikki. Nikki is an Ontario, Canada resident. He is of Iranian descent. He's my co-author of my book, The Great Patriot Protest and Boycott Book, and The Great Patriot Boycott Book, and the new one, How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great, which is 100 blank pages, which is a funny book for any conservative to give to their friends. Nikki Ballou is Iranian. I thought it was important to speak to him when the Iran war started, and when the Iran war was ongoing, and when the Iran war was almost ending, and now it's supposedly over. And we should talk a little bit about it. And I'm not sure if we're going to agree on this one, because I'm sure what Nikki, I know what Nikki wants. He wanted us to finish the job, and he wanted us to free the Iranian people and to change the regime. And it appears none of that is going to happen now, because my guess is, and I know President Trump better than anyone in the world, all he cares about is the stock market going up, gold going up, Bitcoin going up, gas going down, inflation going down, groceries going down, and the economy going up and exploding. And he knew none of that could happen if we finished the job and spent another 6 months in Iran, and he would lose the midterms. So he quit early. Basically, I know that's, Trump wouldn't like me saying this, but I believe he basically walked away and got sick of the whole thing because the American people are not with him at all and didn't want this war, and he walked away from it, and he got the best deal he could get, and maybe he can go back after the midterms and go back in again. But for now, the Iran war is over, at least as far as President Trump is concerned, and the Strait of Hormuz is open, and we're free to do business and ship oil again, and that's the story. Now, Nikki, I'm sure you don't want that to happen. You wanted him to finish the job, and I don't blame you, but it's just not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. The deal's done, and President Trump has, as you say, decided that it's more important to preserve the support of the public. It's more important to ensure win the midterms, oil. I understand all that, and I understand his thinking. I just think it's unfortunately short-sighted, because I'm going to tell you there's a few reasons why it's short-sighted. Wayne, these mullahs hate America and the West. That is, without a doubt, without question, unquestionably true. Secondly, their stated goal is to turn the world into a one-world Islamic caliphate. They want this to happen. They will lie, cheat, and steal in order to preserve themselves so they can live to fight another day. And their strategy right now is called wait out Donald Trump. And what they're going to do right now is they're going to sign a deal.
Because they know the midterms are coming, right? They know it too.
They totally know. So they did this because they know it's going to get them some breathing room, and they're gonna wait Trump out. They're going to wait till Trump is out of office. They're going to play nice until Trump is out of office.
Right.
Then, my friend, here's what's going to happen. Especially if a Democrat's elected, they're going to start going back to their old ways. They're going to start going after nuclear weapons. They're going to start funding proxies, terrorist proxies in the Middle East, and they're going to start killing people. And by the way, throughout this whole time, they're going to clamp down even harder on the people of Iran. There were 100,000 people killed in January of 2026.
100,000? 100,000
were killed. 100,000 people were killed by the regime in protest. And now when the pressure's off of them from the United States military, they're going to go back.
They'll start killing again.
They're going to start killing more people. And the truth of the matter is these guys are bad guys. You're not going to be able to do a deal with them because they're not honest brokers, not a deal that's going to last. And as soon as Donald Trump is gone from the political scene, you're going to see them come back. The only thing that can stop this is if some of the people in the regime decide that they don't want to wait till Donald Trump goes and they start pulling some shenanigans again.
I knew you were going to say that. And that may get us back in. Yes.
Yeah, especially if they do this after the midterms, I think at that point Trump's going to go, screw it, the midterms are over. Let's do what we got to do. But for now, I don't think he's lost interest. I think he's made a political calculation that going into Iran and finishing the job is going to cost me politically, and I can't live with that.
Can't argue with that, right? You can't argue with that.
I'm not arguing with his reasoning or his understanding of what the current political scene is. But I'll just tell you, Wayne, if I were one of the president's advisors, when he went into Iran, I would have said, Mr. President, you made a good initial speech, but if you're going to have the people behind you, which I believe you're going to need, you're going to need to do more than just do this one initial speech. You're going to need to continuously educate the people on why this is important. I would have written a speech for him, and I would have had this speech have a bit of a historical backdrop. I would talk about how the mullahs got into power, how the United States, under the under the awful presidency of Jimmy Carter, basically decided that they were no longer going to support America's longtime ally in the region, which was the Shah of Iran.
Shah, yeah.
And they were going after what they called the religious belt of people to oppose Soviet communism, and they basically tacitly started supporting Khomeini. And as a result, the Shah was overthrown. Khomeini came in. And then shortly after that, Khomeini bit the hand that fed him, as it were, and took the American embassy workers hostage and started funding every terrorist proxy in the regime. And they declared war on the United States in February of 1979. That war has been ongoing. Trump, for a while, said, okay, we're going to fight back. We're going to knock you down. But right now, he said, you know what? I attacked these guys. I destroyed their military. We're going to make sure they don't do nukes, at least for the next couple of years, and then it's somebody else's problem. But if he'd have stuck with it and he'd explained to people what had happened, and he said, look, the reason the Iranian people are being imprisoned by these folks, and these are the people that have caused all the radical Islamic terrorism in the world, is because the United States let this happen. We have a moral obligation to stop this to the Iranian people somewhat, but to the American people, because if we don't stop this now, these guys are going to keep doing this until they get nuclear weapons and they can attack the United States, and they're going to keep killing Americans and American allies until they are overthrown.
Nikki,
and
so
that's the truth.
Listen, I get it. Everything you're saying is true. But listen, here's my problem. Number one, Trump never had a single fireside chat. Not one with the American people to explain the war. Not one. He could have explained all that, but he never did. But I do think almost every Republican knows everything you just said, because I've said it on this show 1,000 times. They know.
You have.
I've said it. You've said it. They know. But all the other people who aren't Republicans, independents and Democrats, outnumber Republicans, and they don't care. They don't want war. They don't want their kids going to war. They don't want higher gas prices. They don't want higher grocery prices. They don't want inflation. And so it's just, it's like the Vietnam War. We should have finished that one too, but it was never in the cards. There was no way we were ever going to finish it after 10 long years. What's the difference between Vietnam and now? 10 years and the American people were sick of it, and 60,000 Americans dead. They were sick of it, and we had to get out. Now our attention span is so short.
You didn't need to send a single American with boots on the ground. What you needed to do is have these fireside chats, and you need to drop weapons to the Iranian people and let them be the boots on the ground.
And they could have kept bombing too. And keep bombing.
And could have kept bombing. And then have some good fireside chats. The Republicans are mostly with Trump, but not all with Trump. Some of them went against him. The independents are persuadables, man. They could have used some good fireside chats to get it done. Look, it's water on the bridge. It's done. I'm not one of these people who's going to attack President Trump. You know,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
And I think what he did is good. And I think the fact that he's degraded the mullah's abilities is in the long run
is
a
good
really
too.
Good thing. My concern, Wayne, and why I wanted to come on your show today is I want to tell the president, because I know the president watches your show and I know he listens to what you have to say. I want to tell him, look, Mr. President, this may make sense in the short term, but in the long term, this makes no sense. In the long term, you're going to have to deal with these people. If you don't deal with these people, they'll find a way to deal with America once you're gone.
But you know what the sad reality is? The sad reality is he may never have to deal with them again. It's only after he's gone. And his answer may be, I don't care, leave it to the next guy. Because the inflation was so bad under Biden. The gas price under Biden. I want to remind everyone, the grocery price under Biden. Everything was a nightmare under Biden. And the American people have already forgotten. They have short memories. And now they're blaming Trump for those same prices that were all Biden's fault. And during the Iran war, they went up even a little bit more, or they didn't go down as much as people would like. And people blame Trump. And he has to do something in the short time between now and the midterms to get all those prices down again so he can take credit. So it just wasn't meant to be, Nikki. And I feel horrible for the Iranian people, because you and I know that Trump told them, get ready, we're coming to save you. And he didn't save them. And now they're going to get killed. And the United States does this all the time. Look at Afghanistan. They let all their friends die after 20 years. You know, you could even America can stick with you for 15, 20 years, and still you're going to get killed in the end. In the end, the lesson everyone's learning is America is never there long-term to be your friend. And if you make them your friend, you will get killed and your whole family will get killed somewhere in the future. So it's a sad lesson. And the American people have, you never let me finish one point. I got to get in. So in Vietnam, it took 10 years for the American people to truly sour, and 60,000 dead, and they truly soured, and we had to get out because finishing the job would not be acceptable to the American people. Fast forward all these decades later, society is so fast now, Nikki, and people have such short attention spans that it took a matter of weeks to accomplish the same thing as Vietnam took 10 years. 13 guys died versus, 70,000 died in Vietnam, 69,000? 13 people died. 13 American soldiers died. That's it. And the American people already gave up on the war. So, a little inflation, a little pain at the pump, and they gave up on the war. It didn't take 10 years anymore. It took 5 minutes.
I pray to God that the American people don't live to regret this. I pray to God that there isn't some crazy Islamic terrorist who lands on American shores with a suitcase nuke or other nuclear weapon or other weapon of mass destruction, and blows it up in a major American city. I pray to God that doesn't happen, because at that point, the cost to the American people will be high. And believe me, Wayne, these bastards mean to do that. They haven't given up on that as a dream. They are straight up bad and evil people.
You keep bringing up the United States, but I think, yes, they hate the United States. Yes, they want to conquer the United States. Yes, they want to bomb the United States. Yes, they'd like to nuke the United States. Yes, they could set off a dirty bomb in the United States. But certainly it's a lot easier to do all of that to Israel than it is to come all the way to the United States. So Israel's the one who has to face this on a daily basis, and they're one of our best friends in the world, if not our best friend. And they're now left in the lurch. And Trump is making lousy comments about Netanyahu, and he's saying Netanyahu has to stop bombing Beirut and has to stop attacking, people that are attacking him and the Israeli people. And it's not a good situation, but I get why Trump is saying and doing what he is, because the American people don't even care about Israel anymore. They don't care about Israel. They don't care about Iran. They care about America. And America just, in their minds, has nothing to do with all these countries thousands of miles away in the Middle East. Let them worry about their own problems. So Trump, for his own political survival, has decided to let the American people take away.
I get it. I get it, and I understand it. And like I said, it's reality. It's what's happening. And I hope that it's the long-term implications of this for the United States and the American people are not what I suspect they could end up being. They're going to attack Israel. You're right. But you see, here's the difference between Israel and the United States. The Israeli people are solidly behind the Israeli government, and they will support the Israeli government in doing whatever it takes to protect Israel and the people of Israel.
Right, but see, the Israeli government. But Trump made a comment, and even though it's rude, it's kind of true. I mean, everything Trump says is rude but true. He said, and I quote, Bibi should shut the hell up because without me, there is no Israel. That's what he said. Without me, there is no Israel. They should understand I am the reason there's an Israel today still existing. Because if a Democrat got elected, he's trying to say, and he's right. He is basically right. So the problem is that if Israel goes their own way and goes away separate, takes the lonely road without America, they're a little country. There's no way they could fight 300 million enemies around them, let alone, Iran. And they're never going to make it by themselves. They need America to make it. So Netanyahu has no choice but to be nice to Trump and shut up and just play the pet friend. Play my dog Bubba for now. Pet me and just move on. Because if Netanyahu picks a fight with Trump, Trump can fight with Netanyahu, but Netanyahu can't fight back. If he fights back, Trump will tell him to F off, and then Israel's on its own.
No, and he won't. But I'm just telling you, if Israel suspects that they're going to take a nuclear hit, they're not going to stand there and just sit down and take it.
Agreed.
They won't.
It's a sad situation. I get it.
And I also think in addition to Israel, the Islamists in the Middle East are planning on attacking some major European cities. They're going to do that. And then once they've done that a couple of times, because it's easier to attack a European city than it is to attack an Israeli city.
Easier.
Let's face it, right? Much easier. So they're going to do that first. Once they've done a couple of those, then if there's not a strong pushback against them, then they're going to try and come into the United States, especially with a Democratic administration. If the American people in the next 20 years elect another Democrat to the White House, you are going to see, in my opinion, a major weapon of mass destruction event in the North American homeland. That's what I believe will happen.
Heck, Nikki, there was almost a major mass death event at the UFC 250 fight just a couple days ago on the White House lawn. They were planning, and they were not Muslims, by the way. These appear to be just American white kids, I guess, white liberal revolutionaries, maybe Antifa. And they were planning to fly drones and scare people and blow up buildings, and everyone would run for their lives in panic. And then they were going to have snipers set up to shoot them all down and kill thousands of people. This is a crazy plan. Maybe a very smart, effective plan. But thank God somebody's mommy called the FBI and told on the 19-year-old. And the FBI arrested them all, swooped in and arrested them, and everything worked out at the UFC event. Thank God. So, I mean, there's no question.
Wayne, keep praying for the Iranian people. I believe God is good, and I believe God at the end of the day is going to ensure that the right thing happens for the people of Iran and for the people of Israel and for the people of the United States. I understand why President Trump is doing what he's doing. I just think he's mistaken to do it. I get it in the short run. It makes sense. And I hope that at some point, once the midterms are over, all bets will be off and he'll do what needs to be done, because this is a problem you don't want to leave behind. This is not a good problem to leave unsolved.
I get it. Nikki, I get it. It was just the prudent thing for Trump to do if we want to win the midterms. It just was getting too long, and it might have required boots on the ground, and the American people were never going to go for that.
No, I don't think you ever need that. I don't think he should do that. And listen, I still love President Trump. I think he's the best president we've had easily since Ronald Reagan. On the whole, his presidency has been a boon for humankind. And I want to make sure I make that clear. I just disagree strongly with this particular decision that he's made.
I get it. I more than not, I agree with you, but I also agree with Trump that there was just no choice right now. So it's kind of a difficult conundrum. That's the best way to describe it. It's a conundrum. All right, Nikki Ballou, Ontario, Canada resident, and as pro-American as you'll ever get for a Canadian or any other country. Should be in the United States because you're an American patriot, buddy. And the co-author of several of my books, including the new one, How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great. 100 blank pages. We both spent 5 minutes writing the book.
Cheers.
Nikki, thank you, buddy.
Take care, Wayne.
Be good. All right, let me mention the sponsor as we head out of this segment, FreedomFest. FreedomFest is coming up so fast, I can't believe it. It's in just a couple weeks, July 8th to 11th, so about 3 weeks away. It's at Caesars Forum Convention Center in Las Vegas. It's the most popular event at FreedomFest every year is the mock trial. And this year, ICE will be put on trial, and the defense attorney for ICE is Wayne Allyn. There will be a judge, there will be a jury, there will be prosecutors prosecuting ICE. I'm the defense attorney who's going to defend them, and we're going to win this thing, as I always do, every debate at Freedom Fest. Star witnesses for me is actor Dean Cain, Superman, and veteran Border Patrol agent and supervisor and official J.J. Carroll. 12 jurors selected from the audience. It takes place on Friday, July 10th at 5 p.m. I can't wait to meet all of you there. The MC is Kennedy from Fox News. Many great speakers, including Steve Forbes, Glenn Beck, Adam Carolla, Rob Schneider, and John Mackey, the founder of Whole Foods. Get your tickets now for Freedom Fest. Get $100 off because you're a fan of Wayne Root. Go to freedomfest.com and use the promo code WAR to get $100 off. freedomfest.com. Best speakers in the world and best debates and the best mock trial and a best film festival and the best economic advice. It's all at Freedom Fest. This year, go to freedomfest.com, use promo code WAR for $100 off. We'll be right back for the last segment of the show. Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn, CEO, conservative TV and radio host, and best-selling author. I believe in America and American exceptionalism. America is now focused on energy independence. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. It took 40 years to piece together this 40,000-acre giant gas discovery. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far are estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas, making it one of the largest natural gas discoveries in the Rocky Mountain region in the last 30 years. This is how we power the AI future of America with clean natural gas. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose previous public companies, Pinnacle Energy and Ultra Petroleum, delivered spectacular returns for investors. At its peak, a $10,000 investment in Ultra Petroleum turned into over $13 million. To learn more about this Lost Soldier oil and gas opportunity, go to lostsoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. That's lostsoldier.com. Hi, this is Wayne Allyn. If you're sick and tired of supporting woke companies, I have great news for you. You don't have to anymore. You can shop where my family shops at GreatPatriotStore.com. My team researched thousands of companies for my best-selling book, The Great Patriot Boycott Book, and one stood out above all, GreatPatriotStore.com. This is the answer to inflation. Hundreds of household products that you're already buying. Much higher quality, no toxic chemicals, delivered right to your door at incredible prices. 20,000 American families are joining every month, and you should too. And now they've got the beef, pasture-raised with no hormones, antibiotics, or mRNA ever, exclusively available only to their members. Like Costco or Sam's Club, you need to become a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form, and they'll contact you right away. And boom, you're a member. For a limited time, the annual membership is $1. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com. That's GreatPatriotStore.com. Hey, Wayne Allyn, America Speaks. You call in and we talk about it. Your opinions, your comments, your questions. How do you call in? 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668. The show airs at midnight, East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific, but we tape it at 6 p.m. East Coast time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So you call in at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I talk to you, and it airs that night at midnight. The phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. That number is 24/7. You can leave voicemails. We play your voicemails on the air as well.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
Or you can email me, wayneroot@gmail.com. I'll read your email live on the air with your comments or questions. America Speaks. All right, Wayne Allyn Root, the Root's on fire. So let me give that phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. Here you are watching me right now, or you are listening to me right now on radio, because this is a simulcast. And it's going to be confusing to you because I'm actually taping my TV show at the exact same time. And so at 6 o'clock East Coast time, 3 o'clock West Coast time, I'm taking calls. So if you've ever thought while you're watching my podcast, I wish Wayne would take calls, and I'd like to talk to him. And if you've ever thought while you're listening to my nationally syndicated radio show, I wish Wayne would take calls, I want to talk to him, now you can. Okay? So at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, call in 800-347-ROOT, 800-347-ROOT, and you'll be on my national TV show, America Speaks, at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific tonight. And you can watch yourself talking with Wayne Root, or leave a voicemail 24 hours a day at 800-347-ROOT, and I will respond to your voicemail live on the air. And you can watch that tonight on America Speaks. So all you have to think about is 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Call in, speak to Wayne Root, 800-347-ROOT, or leave a voicemail with your question, your comment, your opinion. Okay, that's it. Simple. Complicated, but simple. It's complicated, but I just tried to simplify it. Hopefully it's simplified in your mind, because all these shows are a combination of live and taped, and some of them I have to do at the same time. Are you getting that now? So I have to tape one and do another one live. So I'm actually taping my TV show while I'm doing my radio show. So all you have to do is call at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, and you can speak to me live on the air, 800-347-ROOT. Okay, I wanted to read you a column that I wrote back 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Tell me Wayne Root is not spot on. It's titled, just think about this. This column is 2 years old, almost to the day. Hell yes, this is the great replacement. So I gave a speech a few days ago about open borders and why it's happening and who benefits and what's behind it. And it was called The Great Replacement. My speech was delivered at a conservative conference put on by and attended by sheriffs from across the USA. My speech brought down the House and ended with a standing ovation. That's what happens when people get to hear raw truth. It's so rare. You need to hear the details from my speech. And now I'm going to share those details. It's important to note how my speech has been demonized and shadow banned by the media and social media. They don't want you to see it. They're clearly scared to death of raw truth. NBC actually called it racist to discuss the great replacement, which is clearly happening. On X and X/Twitter, Facebook, and other social media, few can see my speech or my posts about it because they're shadow banning me. I might be the most censored conservative patriot in America. But here are the details the deep state doesn't want you to know. I started my speech by reporting that I debated at a huge libertarian conference called FreedomFest a couple of years ago about the topic, was the 2020 election stolen from Trump? FreedomFest, easy for me to say. FreedomFest brought in a liberal New York journalist to debate me. And he had what he thought were all the facts to destroy my arguments about the fraud of mail-in ballots and the fraud of no voter ID and the fraud of no proof of citizenship and the fraud of ballot drop boxes and the fraud of ballot harvesting and the fraud of no signature match and the fraud of counting for days on end until only Democrats win. And of course, 3 o'clock in the morning deliveries of hundreds of thousands of fake ballots, which are 100% for Joe Biden. No problems there, right? While we debated about all of those voting scams carried out by Democrats, I destroyed this liberal journalist from New York with a surprise attack he never saw coming. My main argument, which he wasn't prepared for, was that illegal alien votes made the difference in the 2020 election, specifically in battleground states. He had no answers for that argument. The liberal journalist demanded to know how illegal aliens could vote, and I pointed out to the crowd that in Nevada, where I live, and in 18 other states, plus Washington, D.C., illegal aliens are legally allowed to obtain driver's licenses. This is where the scam begins. While at DMV to get their license, they are by law automatically registered to vote. They can't even say no. They're not allowed to say no. It's automatic. And the employees at DMV cannot ask them if they are a legal U.S. citizen. It would be against the law. So every illegal alien in Nevada who drives is automatically registered to vote. That's a fact. There can be no debate. Then I asked a question to this liberal shill. Once legally registered to vote, why would any illegal alien choose not to vote? It's simple. They're now legally registered. And at the polls, no one asks for ID. It's foolproof. Their vote counts, and they face zero risk of getting in trouble. And you know what I left out? At that time, I didn't even understand that 99% of all illegal aliens don't vote at the polls. They vote with mail-in ballots. They never take a chance on being arrested in the first place. Never. There's zero chance. There might be a 0.5% they could get arrested at the polling place, but there's zero chance if they mail it in. So that's why mail-in ballots go hand in hand with illegal alien voting. Then I asked the second question of this clueless liberal shill. Why wouldn't every illegal alien take advantage of this situation and vote if they can elect Democrats who will refuse to deport them and pay them generous welfare and free health care and free education for their kids and reward them after Democrats win with even bigger government checks? If you were them, wouldn't you choose to vote, and wouldn't you vote Democrat? Of course you would. That's why they're all voting. Then I ended the debate with their votes in battleground states like my state of Nevada, where Trump lost by only 33,000 votes in 2020. Remember, I wrote this before he won in 2024. Their votes in battleground states like my state of Nevada stole the election from President Trump. Illegal alien votes stole the election from Trump in Nevada. The entire country has been stolen from us by illegal alien votes, period, end of story. The crowd exploded. They stood up. They voted. I won a landslide victory. Basically, it was 3,000 to 0 at FreedomFest. I was the winner for, I think, the 5th straight debate. This is the story of open borders. Democrats invite the whole world in, wave them through with no questions asked, and then disperse them throughout the USA wherever needed to win elections. And if letting in millions works, why not let in tens of millions? Shower them with $10,000 Visa cards, free travel, free housing, free lawyers, free phones. And by the way, I'll tell you about another scam. Give them $20,000 when they're in Panama. Then they board a plane, then they fly to America. And the minute the wheels touch the ground, the loan is forgiven and they don't owe the $20,000 back. But give them free phones and only ask one thing of them: register to vote in the state we're sending you to, and then vote Democrat. Simple, easy, effective. Result: Democrats are not just stealing elections, but they're stealing the whole country. If Democrats can bring in enough new illegal aliens, no Republican president will ever win again. Soon Democrats will control the Senate and the House forevermore, and then America's finished. Need further proof? While this nation is on fire, while millions illegally cross the border, remember, this is 2 years ago, while hundreds of thousands more are flown straight from the Darien Gap in Panama, there's that name, the Darien Gap in Canada, into the USA with $20,000 loans by Uncle Sam, forgiven the moment they land on U.S. soil, while we spend $500 billion a year on illegal aliens, which means the national debt will soon overwhelm the economy and collapse the country, while America's experienced the worst crime wave in history, while our schools and healthcare system are being destroyed and overwhelmed and collapsing, worst of all, while our colleges are invaded and occupied by vile, violent Jew haters from Muslim terrorist nations, flying Palestinian flags, burning U.S. flags, and chanting death to America, while Jewish students' lives are threatened, while Jews feel persecuted like never before in our country's history. In the middle of all of this, Joe Biden is now telling us he wants to import Palestinians from Gaza. That was going on 2 years ago. I guess you forgot that, huh? I can't blame you because I forgot it too. This was written 2 years ago. What? Palestinians, people so poverty-stricken for generations, so addicted to welfare, so dependent on government, so filled with rage and hate for Jews and Christians and Americans, taught from childhood to murder Jews, and their ranks so filled with criminals and terrorists that no Muslim nation in the world will take them. In the middle of the anarchy going on at our colleges, Joe Biden wants to pour fuel on the fire. He wants to import, literally, the most serious Jew haters, America haters, and Islamic terrorists in the world. Because we don't have enough trouble already? He's willing to further endanger the lives of every Jew and Christian in America. What this tells you is Biden and his boss, Obama, who's actually in control of all of this, directing it all, are either hell-bent on the intentional destruction of America or simply want to import more bodies to vote Republican, to vote Democrat. None of them are voting Republican, by the way. Any body is at all, as long as it's a warm body, able to vote Democrat for life. even Palestinians that no Muslim country in the world wants to touch because of the violence and the terrorism they bring. Hell yes, this is the great replacement. But it's not just white Americans that Biden and his boss Obama and the entire Democrat Party are replacing. They want to replace white Americans and legal American-born black Americans and legal Latino Americans and any American with a brain and common sense. Democrats want to replace all American citizens, period. Why? All so that they can turn America into a one-party country, turn us all into desperate sheeple, dependent on government for life, and retain Democrat control of government forever. Hell yes, this is the great replacement, and that's why the liberal media is so afraid of me and my speech. And when that speech ended, I got a standing ovation from the sheriffs of America. They all know what's going on. All right, as we say goodbye, let me mention the sponsor of the show, VRA, Vertical Research Advisory. Some of you say, hey, I'm not into the stock market. Well, you know what? And a lot of you say, I don't have enough money. You know what? You could take $2,000 and open an account. You could take $1,000 and open an account. You could take $500 and open an account. You could take $5,000 or $10,000 and open an account. And you could double it or triple it or quadruple it because Kip Herridge is that good. And what's wrong with making $2,000 or $4,000 or $6,000 or $8,000 or $12,000? You're not making $12 million. I get that. But you could certainly make a little extra money that could pay your bills. So you want to subscribe to his VRA newsletter, his global investment and economic newsletter that has beaten the market with his top performing recommendations about 90% of the time for 22 years. It was up 38% average over the last 3 years, not over 3 years, but each year of the 3 years, up 38, and up 38%. Amazing. Meanwhile, Barron's reports the average Wall Street money manager loses to the market 90% of the time. Kip is the best. No one else like him. The VRA portfolio beats the market when the market's up, beats the market when the market's down. It beats the market when the economy is up, and it beats the market when the economy is down. Kip makes money on both ends, up or down. Let him prove it to you. Only for my fans, it's free for 2 weeks. Every morning in your inbox, you'll get it. VRAinsider.com. VRAinsider.com. Free 2-week membership. What do you have to lose? What are you risking? Nothing. VRAinsider.com. All right, I'm Wayne Allyn Root. This has been Warzone Live, the official podcast of the Gateway Pundit. You can find out where to watch all my shows, podcasts, radio, and TV at root4america.com. And you can email me. I love to hear from you. And I will read your email on the air, by the way, on my America Speaks TV show, WayneRoot@gmail.com. WayneRoot@gmail.com. Don't forget, at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, you can call in and talk to me live. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. Have a great night. God bless you. God bless Trump. God bless America. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Wayne Allyn Root from my great friends John and Chelsea Jubilee of Energized Health. Energized Health changed my life. I lost 25 pounds of fat, including dangerous inner body visceral fat, and gained about 10 pounds of muscle. And
hey, Wayne Allyn Root, America Speaks. You call in and we talk about it. Your opinions, your comments, your questions. How do you call in? 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668. The show airs at midnight, East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific, but we tape it at 6 p.m. East Coast time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So you call in at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I talk to you, and it airs that night at midnight. The phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. That number is 24/7. You can leave voicemails. We play your voicemails on the air as well.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
Or you can email me, WayneRoot@gmail.com. I'll read your email live on the air with your comments or questions. America Speaks.